Welcome to your cinematic checkup. I'm Dr. Peter, and today we're examining Joker.
You know that, right?
Okay, pause. Joker is vividly portraying Arthur Fleck's descent into mental illness and how societal neglect is exacerbating his condition, which is called pseudobulbar affect, PBA. It's a neurological disorder characterized by episodes of uncontrollable laughing and crying, but it also leads to social isolation and other psychological distress. His condition specifically is tied with his inability to afford proper medication, which underscores this huge, wonderful, complex idea they brought into this movie about the social determinants of health. It's all about public health. Poverty, lack of access, transportation, social isolation, food deserts, all the things that happen in your social setting that affect your health. And Arthur's environment, Gotham, is harsh, it's unforgiving, it mirrors our real world and the real world challenges that a lot of people face, especially those with mental illnesses. This broken mental health system and health system in general is further represented by the closure of the social services that Arthur was receiving, which reflects this broader discussion about the underfunding of mental health services and the stigma that's associated with even seeking help.
Is it just me? Or is it getting crazier out there?
What do you think he's gonna do?
He's gonna help us. Because Thomas Wayne is a good man. If he knew how we were living, it would make him sick.
What a scene. Did your heart also break like mine for Arthur when you learned that his mom had created this whole thing in her head? We call it delusional disorder. It is characterized by a belief or beliefs that are untrue. So she believed she had a child with Thomas Wayne, who is Arthur Fleck, but the movie tells us that that is untrue. Now, this makes Arthur's attachment to his mother complex, and it's characterized by both dependence and resentment, which is indicative of an attachment style that is what we call disorganized. Children who have disorganized attachment style that results from inconsistent and often unpredictable caregiving, which leads to confusion, difficulty in forming secure relationships, which can persist into adulthood like it did for Arthur Fleck. And this film calls attention to the critical need for supportive foster care systems and mental health interventions for children who have experienced such early life disruptions.
Everybody's telling me that my stand-up's ready for the big clubs.
But happy, don't you have to be funny to be a comedian?
If you're interested in learning more about your own attachment style with your parents, you can click the subscribe button now so I know to make that video for you. If we make, 50 subscribers from this video, I'll know to make that video.
Even I didn't know if I really existed.
Arthur, I have some bad news for you. They've cut our funding. We're closing down our offices next week.
How am I supposed to get my medication now?
I'm sorry, Arthur.
Throughout the film, this is one of the most heartbreaking things when I watch it. Arthur's mental health is depicted as being precariously managed by medication at best. He mentions that he's on 7 different medications. The film, its genius, also shows the consequences of medication withdrawal when Arthur loses access to his prescriptions after government funding cuts to the social services he relies on, which arguably gives birth to Joker. This medication withdrawal is a critical turning point in the film as it marks the beginning of Arthur's slip into psychosis and eventual violence. Antipsychotic medications can help reduce symptoms such as hallucinations and delusions. However, abrupt withdrawal from these medicines, especially without medical supervision, can lead to a resurgence of these symptoms, increased risk of relapses, and in some cases, severe withdrawal effects. Again, Joker serves as a cautionary tale to all of us about the consequences of neglecting the mental health of others, including mental health services, particularly for those who rely on medications to function every single day, as well as the dangers of sudden discontinuation. It's sort of like a metaphorical bathroom mirror held to the ugly faces of government and healthcare saying, "Thanks, Mom and Dad."
Oh, I feel good. I stopped taking my medication. I feel a lot better now.
We went over this, Penny. You adopted him. You also stood by when one of your boyfriends repeatedly abused your adopted son, malnourished with multiple bruises across his body and severe trauma to his head.
Okay. Arthur's childhood traumas are the scars he's carrying with him, like all of us. We see that Arthur was abused by his mother's boyfriend and neglected by his own mother, leading to his development of something called post-traumatic stress disorder, or PTSD. You might have heard of it. PTSD is characterized by symptoms such as flashbacks, severe anxiety, and uncontrollable thoughts about the traumatic event or events. And the long-term effects of such trauma are profound. And I talk about them many times in my videos. Adverse childhood experiences, or ACEs, have been shown to alter brain development for children, leading to long-term psychological and neurological effects. Research indicates that ACEs can result in reduced hippocampal volume, which affects learning, which is evidenced in this movie by Arthur's misspellings in his journal, increased amygdala reactivity, which affects the emotions, think Inside Out, which is evidenced by Arthur's violent outbursts, and altered prefrontal cortex functioning, which affects our ability to have impulse control, which, well, I don't want to get ahead of myself with what the movie ends with, but take just a moment to consider these consequences that children endure, and you too would be horrified and agree that every child deserves an equitable chance at not just life, but living. And it's no wonder that when you're dealt a hand full of aces, you hope for a joker.
He's always been such a happy little
Okay, now we get to look at Arthur's psychosis taking shape. Psychosis is a mental health condition that makes it difficult for some to tell what is real from what is not. It's characterized by things like hallucinations, seeing or hearing things that aren't there, and delusions, strong beliefs in things that aren't true, like his mother had. And Arthur's delusions, such as his hallucinated relationship with his neighbor Sophie, illustrate how psychosis can provide a temporary escape from reality, while also leading to further isolation and dangerous behaviors. Arthur has intense stressors in his life, including his mental illness, such as poverty, isolation, unemployment, and ongoing ridicule. And the film provides a stark portrayal of the dangers of untreated psychosis, emphasizing the need for all of us to have compassionate and comprehensive mental health care support. This raises ethical questions that I'm sure you're already asking. What about the portrayal of psychosis in media, particularly the risk of reinforcing these stereotypes that link mental illnesses with violence? Well, I'll address that question in a little bit.
Murray, one small thing.
Yeah.
When you bring me out, can you introduce me as Joker?
Okay, as an actor and doctor myself, I was feverishly researching and comparing Joaquin Phoenix's Joker with previous portrayals, such as Heath Ledger's, and I learned of the intense psychological preparation these actors underwent. For those of you who don't know, Heath Ledger's portrayal of the Joker in The Dark Knight in 2008 was lauded for its depth and intensity, but it was also associated with significant mental strain. Heath Ledger's tragic death raised concerns about the health impact of immersing oneself in such a dark role. And Joaquin Phoenix similarly immersed himself in the role, losing over 50 pounds and isolating himself to further understand Arthur's psyche. His dedication to the role involves studying mental illness and its manifestations, and he consulted with psychiatrists, read extensively about personality disorders and neurological conditions to accurately portray Arthur's condition, which led to his believability in the role. And this level of immersion, known as method acting, can have psychological consequences. Research suggests that method acting, which involves deep emotional and psychological immersion, can lead to increased stress and emotional instability. And actors may experience symptoms of the conditions they're portraying because, get this, they could blur the lines between their characters and themselves. And the psychological toll of playing the Joker is a question a lot of us have, and it raises the important questions about the impact of these intense roles on actors' mental health and what support they have. And while these portrayals contribute to powerful and memorable performances and they're Oscar-worthy, they also highlight the need for mental health support for actors and individuals in high-stress professions.
Well, you look nervous. Is it the scars? You want to know how I got them?
How about another joke, Murray?
No, I think we've had enough of your jokes.
What do you get
I don't think so.
when you cross
I think
a
we're
mentally
done
ill
with your
loner
jokes.
with
That's
a
it.
society that abandons him and beats him like trash?
Call the police,
I'll
Gene.
tell you what you get.
Call the police.
You get what you deserve.
Okay, now let's address the question you had from before. This violent portrayal of mental illness. What are the effects? Well, it raises ethical questions about the impact on public perception. And when the film first came out, people were concerned about civil unrest in the movie theaters, in the streets, and Joker must be viewed with an understanding that Arthur Fleck's actions are a result of his unique circumstances and not representative of all individuals with mental illness. And while the film humanizes Arthur's struggles, it also highlights the need for accurate and responsible depictions of mental illness to avoid perpetuating stigma, which requires homework, which Todd Phillips and all the filmmakers did for this movie. And Joker dances on a fine line, portraying the depth of Arthur's struggles while also depicting his violent actions. In fact, director Todd Phillips and Joaquin Phoenix have spoken at length about the meticulous approach they took to depicting Arthur's mental illness authentically, and they'll continue to do so in Joker 2, which comes out very soon, and we're going to be examining it as well. Phillips tried to create a character study realistically, avoiding sensationalism. Phoenix's performance is a testament to the importance of informed and sensitive representations of mental illness in media. He mentioned that the film is not just about a man with a mental illness, but a commentary on the failures of our society to support its most vulnerable members. What do you think about that? I think it elevates this movie from a film to a cinematic masterpiece.
My life is nothing but a comedy.
Speaking of Joker, I have a real magic trick for you that will blow your mind. So I want you to scroll underneath my video and look at the like and subscribe buttons. Now watch what happens when I say, like this video. Isn't that neat? What about subscribe to my channel? Do you see what's happening? Isn't that so cool? Well, what's most important to me is I would feel really blessed if you shared this video with 2 of your friends. This will help me reach my goal of 20,000 subscribers, and also it will share it with people who will be interested in the things that I create here on the channel and also grow our family. Now, with Joker being a cinematic masterpiece, it offers us a nuanced look at the intersections of mental health, societal responsibility, that's us, and the need for systemic change and how movies inform our health. To reflect on this life-changing principle, that cheating the vulnerable crafts the greatest joke of all. The hero is the villain.
Good night.
I'm Dr. Peter, here to refill your movie script. Until your next health screening.